Alright, welcome back. We're now to the always interesting Southeast Division.
Think about the Southeast. Always one team shines and takes it, like Tampa Bay 1 year, and then they won the Cup. Carolina the next year, then they won the Cup.
Although Atlanta got shelled against the Rangers.
They were terrible.
So let's start with Atlanta. They're going to take a step back, most people think, because they let Kachuk go. But I think it was big of them to get Kozlov back and have the big three on offense again. Yeah. So I think they're going to score a lot of goals again. Their defense is rubbish. That's nothing new. Yeah. Lettinen didn't have the greatest of years last year. I think it's because he played too much. I don't think Bob Hartley's a very good coach, quite honestly. But and they have one of the best backups in the league in Johan Hedberg. But I just think they'll be about the same as they were last year, only because I think Lettinen's going to have a better year. I think he's probably the most talented goalie in the league, in my opinion.
He's interesting to watch, yeah.
No, he is.
The thing about the Thrashers for me is they're very top-heavy, but they're not as strong as, like, in Ottawa. You know what I mean? Like, their top line isn't as strong as in Ottawa. They are, obviously, a playoff team. Like, they made it last year, obviously, but, I mean...
Well, to me, too, Kovalchuk didn't... Like, he had a bad year, but a 40-goal year is not a bad year for anyone. But for him, it was a bad year. Yeah. So you got to think he's going to rebound. I mean, Hossa might not be able to put up the same points he did last year, but you never know. I mean, I think he'll break even with the points he had last year. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, they have no major additions, so it's tough to talk about them too much in a season preview show like this. So let's just move on to the Washington Capitals. We go A to W on this show. There's no order. No order at all. So Michael Nylander and Backstrom.
Good additions.
Backstrom, they already had him, but now he's going to play on the team.
Yeah.
So now they have two actual centers on that team, and Ovechkin must be so happy because they didn't even have centers.
Yeah,
before.
I like how they're going right now because, I mean, last year they were sort of, they obviously relied solely on Ovechkin while the players around him were like Sotheby's and Chris Clarks and just like average NHLers like you'd see on any team's second or third line. I think adding these two guys is going to really, really help the offense.
It's going to be interesting to see because you've got to know Semen and Ovechkin are playing on different lines.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see who centers them.
Yeah.
I don't know if Nylander's going to center Semen and Backstrom's going to center Ovechkin. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
I would say Nylander on the first line just because of the experience he has.
I think, because Backstrom's big. Semen's not that big.
Yeah.
Ovechkin's big. Nylander plays like kind of a pussy. So, you kind of put the big with the small, and then you throw Clark on the right side on the first line.
He's an underrated player, I think. He's a good grinder.
No, yeah, he's a good player. He scored didn't he score 30 goals last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's pretty good. That's more of a product of being one of the only gunners on a team that lacks them. Their defense, again, one of the worst units in the league. Ole Kolzig, you got to feel for him. I still think he's all right. He's not nearly as good as he used to be.
No, definitely not.
But he still holds them in a lot of games that they have no business being in.
Most definitely.
I mean, I got to think that most people think they're going to miss the playoffs, but everyone pretty much acknowledges they're on the right track.
Yep.
I mean, getting Carl Alzner was a good move for them.
They have a lot of good young guys, like role-playing young guys like Brooks Lake and Levis.
All right, so let's go on to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Stanley Cup champions pre-lockout.
It's the playoffs the next
They gotta love it that St. Louis bounced back last year because I'm sure a lot of people were scared that he was a flash in the pan. But the thing that must be scaring them is the type of year Brad Richards had last year.
Yeah, I hope he can rebound.
Highest paid player in the league. Well, he was. Crosby is now, I believe. But Richards needs to bounce back. I think he's going to. He needs to have a 90-point year again. But it all comes down to that team with goaltending. John Tortorella hasn't playing a good defensive game.
I don't understand it.
But
they always reel out these shitty goaltenders.
Yeah. Well, it's the Javi Bullen curse, I guess. Javi Bullen's the only good goalie they've ever had in franchise history.
I figured adding Martinet would have solved the problem. Because I always thought he was sort of like an underrated goaltender on a bad team like Columbus. But I don't know.
But what does it say about a team
didn't pull it out
that has Riku Helenius and Kari Romo, two Finnish goaltenders who they both think have a good chance of making the team at training camp? Yeah. What does that say about Johan Holmqvist and Mark Denis?
Terrible.
And their confidence with them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if Kari Romo, I hear good things about him. So maybe if he has a good year.
He played a few games last year.
Yeah. So
He's all right.
we'll see how they go down there.
Yeah.
And a team that did go out and get a good goaltender, the Florida Panthers, they didn't do much in the way of movement except they just got Vokoun.
I think their offense could use some work. I mean, Jokinen's obviously a star,
Yeah.
and Nathan
Horton.
Horton's going to pick it up a lot.
And Weiss. That's the problem, though. Those are three centers.
The problem I see is I looked at the hockey news just
Yeah.
recently, and Ville Peltonen's on their top power play unit, so they say. I wouldn't agree with that.
It's more of
I
a
mean,
depth chart thing.
Yeah, but like the fact that they have no wingers sort of troubles me. I don't think they want to put Nathan Horton on the wing with Jokinen because they're two like similar players, big guys who can grind it out. They want to sort of mix and match like some speed and some size.
Yeah. Well, it'd just be interesting to see. And then Jay Bouwmeester, he's only 23, 24 still. So, I mean, it's scary how good he's going to get.
He'll have a Norris Trophy candidate before he's out, I'm pretty sure.
No, he'll be he'll win a
defensive.
Norris Trophy or 5 before he's retired. I think he's going to be great, and I just think he's kind of a waste of talent down there. But for a rubbish coach,
For Florida, I think if they don't have a healthy season from Vokoun, it's going to hurt them hard because Craig Anderson's the backup there.
no, yeah, but Vokoun's a horse. I mean, I'm not too worried if he can play 70 games. I think it was just a weird injury that he had. All right, well, on to Carolina, who from Stanley Cup champions to out of the playoffs.
Terrible.
A lot of things happened to them last year. Cam Ward had a bad year. Eric Stahl fell off the map, kind of.
Yeah.
From 100 points to 70 points.
I think they're going to have
Corey
a good
Stillman
season
was
this year.
injured. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying. I still have my doubts about them somewhat. I don't like their defense by committee. I know they missed Francisque Carvalho last year, but I don't know. And I got to see more from Cam Ward. I mean, he's got to play like he did in his Conn Smythe run.
They don't have an outright star on offense, but I think they're really they have 9 solid forwards that can roll. And I think that's sort of their identity as a team.
All right, well, let's go to who we think the division winner is going to be.
I think it's going to be Carolina.
I'm going with the Tampa Bay Lightning. And for some reason, just based on all these goalies that Finland's been plowing out lately, I think I saw Riku Helenius at the World Juniors, and he was good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Kari Roma, but I just have this feeling that one of them's going to play really well.
Nice.
Or Mark Denis is going to rebound. Something's got to happen there with goaltending. You got to just out of sheer luck, you got to think one of them's going to play well.
Yeah.
All right, so the division crapper.
It's a tough one because that division's so spread out, but I'm going to say Florida Panthers.
I'm going to say Washington Capitals, but here's the thing with me. I think the division winner and the worst team in the division is going to be separated by maybe 13, 14 points.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be the tightest division in hockey. I'm not saying they're going to have the best teams or the worst teams, but I think they're going to have the most average teams, or the most average division.
Yeah, they are.
All right, so the division MVP.
It's a really tough one again, but
They have a lot of good players in that division.
They do. I'm going to say Vincent Lecavalier. He carries the offense for the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Yeah. I'm going to go Kari Lehtinen.
Nice.
I think Lettinen's going to have a good year. I just think he's due. And I think Lecavalier is going to have a great year too. I mean, if I couldn't pick a goalie, I would pick Lecavalier because I have him in my top 5 scorers. So anyways, it's the Southeast. Now we're going to move on to the Northwest with all those crazy Canadian teams.
Where